Warning.
Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
The following podcast features terrible jokes.
You know you can use Hot Wheels cars when you need to make a saving throw in D&D? Every car is die-cast.
Usually about board games.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Must insist that no one attempt to recreate any joke performed on this podcast.
We had less technical issues than $1 million company.
All right!
This is Boards and Swords.
You know, I still contest as much trouble as I have. We still have less technical difficulties than some of the $1 million companies. Welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast about tabletop games, bad jokes, good folks, and some tabletop games. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Chris Renshaw. That guy over there is Mr. Philip Herbeck. How are you doing today?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to another glorious Monday. It's at the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be May.
It's gotta be May. Yep. That'll be Friday, won't it?
Right along.
Yeah, it is. But
PAX was yesterday. I swear to God, PAX was yesterday.
it is weird because I don't have a big convention to look forward to in the summer. Like, our trip is kind of like what's going to be,
Yep.
which I will say up front, some show news there of like, I'll be updating the schedule for a little bit. We're going to have a couple of shows where we're not going to have a live recording. We'll have to be doing some tapings because like that first, I think it's technically the second. What do it be? The first show in June. I'll just say that the first show in June, not going to be a live show. We going on vacay because Phil and I are turning 40 this year. Phil's already 40. I'm turning 40, and so we're just.
Kids, get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. I am noticing like I've always had opinions, and I've always had but I realize I'm starting to get I'm gonna say intolerant, but not like, I'm not talking about in a political or cultural sense of like intolerant of lifestyles. I'm intolerant of people's dumb opinions.
That's a you hear people talking, you're like that wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
We could have kept that inside.
Yeah. Or like I mean, if anything, it should just be like, if you need hard evidence, I would just say go back and watch like any news stream where I'm listening to like Hasbro and see like, oh man. Anyways, speaking of which, let's just roll into some news there.
Hang on, I've got it. It's in a different spot.
I've lost my patience for stupid. That's kind of, but I mean, I always had, but like, I realized I had some, and now it's eroding. But if you go to a restaurant and the food has no flavor, do you file a complaint? So in the ongoing legal battles, this comes from W. Eric Martin's Board Game Beak. Chaz Marler files legal complaint against Rodney Smith. So it requests relief due to defamation, false light, and more. So go back an episode. I don't remember if it was last week or the week before we talked about it, but so if you want to get caught up on the long story short, Rodney Smith put out a video and a post where he called out some alleged unethical things in Chaz's Game Night Picks channels, and Chaz has been kind of firing back. But on April 20th, 2026, Chaz Marler, so 420, woo! Chaz Marler YouTube channel Game Night Picks filed a complaint in Lane County Circuit Court in Oregon against Rodney Smith, owner of the Watch It Played YouTube channel, stating in the complaint with defendant Smith published plaintiff Marler's proprietary data alongside false statements across multiple platforms and directly contacted plaintiff's contractual counterparties to destroy plaintiff's livelihood. Defendant obtained the proprietary data through credentials granted during the partnership. Plaintiff's niche industry goodwill, which he contributed to, the partnership continued to build his principal employment over years, was suddenly irreparably damaged. I mean, notice how, like, getting back to the, like, point of not being able to tolerate stupid, notice how nobody's, like, it, like, sure, he does say false statements, but there's no fucking evidence. Like,
well, you can't put the evidence in the first
Rodney
paragraph.
had the numbers. When you have the numbers, you don't get to just throw out and say, like, that's wrong. Well, why is it wrong? Because it's wrong. No.
Because I said so.
When you are the accused, it is your, like, this
No,
is
it's
not a.
No, it's not.
I know.
The burden of proof does not fall on the accused.
Yes, but you're right. You know what? You're 100% right. But you know what? The receipts were brought. Like, the burden of proof, like, the burden of proof isn't on the accused, but the accused has now, the burden of clearing your name is your job. Like, none of this has, like, notice, like, none of this does anything to say of a guilty person or an innocent person. Like, this stands, all of this reads as someone of, I got caught, that I'm facing the consequences of my own actions. How can I dig myself out of my grave? Who can I drag down with me? That's all this
I just
is.
want to go up to the to the top of the page there with the parties section. Okay, so first I honestly 100% didn't know that Chaz's first name was Charles. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Okay, so we blocked out the last names of the two people we already know.
Yeah.
We 100% already know.
Well,
but then
the other fun fact is people joked about how, like, this is blocked out, but this is a public document. So you can go literally get this document
I can go
unedited.
to the circuit court in Lane County, Oregon's
Yes.
website and find this. But the other thing I'm looking at, so, like, Plaintiff Charles blank is an individual residing in, if you look at, like, the way everything's formatted, it probably just says, like, city and state.
Yeah.
But then you go down to defendant Rodney is an individual residing at, you put his entire street address and flat long in that
yeah,
whole
that's
black
true.
out there, okay?
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
well,
I live in America. This person lives at North 32 West.
A part of me wonders if they had to do that so he could be served.
Oh, that is a...
As someone that may or may not have had to do legal proceedings recently, I'm wondering. But usually it's you put yours in too, like,
yeah,
because they need to be able to do, like, countersuits and such
answers.
Yeah,
and all that jazz.
but like Rusty Beetle put in the chat is like, who sues Mr. Rogers? like yeah, like. Rodney is basically the Mr. Rogers of board gaming. Like, this only makes you look worse. This is literally the only Marler forwarded the redacted form, quote, to prevent doxing to Board Game Beak. They didn't redact it out. But again, this is a public document. You could go get this unredacted. Right. Yeah. So, like, literally, what this is more of a, honestly, you know what I think this is? This is kind of a Chaz's money has been like, even as like, people are like, why would you do this? Why would you do this? Why would you do this? This just and like, even I was doing, like, this just makes you look worse. This is not going to affect your, like, livelihood. I think honestly, like, if I think he's smart, which, because like, there's two ways of I think his board game career's over. It is fundamentally, and so what he's trying to do is he's trying to go at Rodney to get money to kind of get him through to whatever he's doing next. Because the thing with law, the thing about law, suits and all this, especially I've come to find out, it doesn't matter what actually is the truth. It all comes down to perception and also what people are willing to pay to not go through legal drama.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you hit someone with a suit and it's going to be expensive, and it's one of those, like, yes, if Chaz is asking for like $10,000, I'm throwing, I don't know anything in. Also, I guess I have to put the thing like not a legal expert. But like, it's one of those lost things where it's like,
You just slept at a Holiday Inn Express last night?
yeah, I almost did add that on there. Like, if say Chaz is throwing out like, you owe me $10,000, I doubt that that's the number. But it's one of those things that Rodney has to go of, well, do I just pay him the $10,000 or do I spend more than $10,000 to fight him, in legal costs just to prove he's right? And then if he's right, then maybe, or if I get proven right, then maybe I can get the money back, or, not have to pay it, but whatever. So, but I mean, I really hope, like, if it's not his intent to be done with board game content, he's signed his death warrant. Because I don't know, like, I mean, who would work with somebody like this? I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people that would, but they're usually probably not the people you want to work with. All right, moving on. Let's talk about something that's really raising some money. This Kickstarter is kicking brass and taking names. From Wargamer, $9 million brass Pittsburgh board game Kickstarter just will not end. It's ongoing thanks to promising new mechanics and a counter that resets with every new backer. What? Roxley Games, the folks behind the crunchy industrial board game powerhouse Brass Birmingham, have garnered a huge amount of public support for their next title, Brass Pittsburgh. Though its highly successful Kickstarter should have already ended, a final twist from Roxley has kept the ball rolling on the campaign, which has now amassed over $9 million, 6.67 million euros. Oh, I've seen stuff like this. BackerKit started this as well, where if like basically it's like, you ever seen like a Twitch hype train?
Yes.
The crowdfunding has started doing this as well, where it's like as long as people are like continually donating, the campaign continues going. So the twist is simple. Every new backer resets a 10-minute tracker counting down to the campaign's end. This means that so long as a new pledge comes in within a 10-minute window, the campaign keeps rolling. So given Brass Pittsburgh ambition and the legacy of its critically acclaimed predecessor, Brass Birmingham, public interest in the title is high. It's a key part of our pantheon of the best board. That's talking about Brass Birmingham. Promises to further iterate on the formula. Oil pipelines, prospecting, market connections, and powerful in-game crown jewel industries. Promise to spice up an already heated strategic meal. As you might expect from a prolific Kickstarter campaign, a wide range of bundles is available. So yeah, you can go all the way up to $125 each, looks like, for the collector's editions of Brass Birmingham, Brass Pittsburgh, and Brass Lancashire, with the full collection coming to $350. Extra bells and whistles, including hardwood tokens, dual layer boards, and high quality game cards. I will say that Brass is one of those games that, like, I played. I or I saw ahead of time, and the previous versions where it was dog ugly. And like there used to be even an app for it that was in that same thing where it was like early 2000s, late 90s kind of artwork. And you're just like, buh. And then they came out with Brass Lancashire, and I was like, all right, this is what I'm talking about. And I actually did not mind playing Brass Lancashire. Brass Birmingham, it just had like a little bit, it was too crunchy for me. Like Lancashire was like, Lancashire is basically the remake of the original Brass. And then Birmingham basically kind of took that game and added a few extra mechanics to it and like a new map and such. So that was kind of like one step too far for me. But I guess for the same reason as why it got really popular is because the people that like it like that amount of crunch. Which I play 40K. You would think I like a lot of crunch, but
Yeah, you would think.
Those looking for a thrifty option can settle for Brass Birmingham or Brass Pittsburgh Essentials Edition for $79. I love that the Essentials Edition is $80. That's crazy. And I'm guarantee this does not count shipping.
No.
But
especially
yeah.
because it's being converted from British pounds.
Yeah. That's fair.
Okay, is this a Kickstarter campaign or a GameFound campaign?
Is it a GameFound campaign? That would make more sense.
Like, reading through the article,
it is a GameFound campaign.
Yeah,
they only said Kickstarter in the article. It is a GameFound campaign. I
can't find it on Kickstarter. That's the thing. So I was like, is this?
Well, there's the link in there that says the successful Kickstarter takes you to a GameFound page. So it looks like it has ended by the time that this you're hearing this.
Yes.
Boards and Swords needs a crunchy scale for games from sift bake pretzel to deep fried Cheetos. I like this. But yeah, so yeah, the game is. Oh yeah, here they talk about the in-game adds 10 more minutes. So this makes soft baked pretzels. There we go. $9 million. 1,822% of its original goal. But that now that makes more sense as to why that feature was in there, because I did not think Kickstarter had it, but I know like BackerKit and I guess GameFound has it too, where you can basically hype train the game go, because I've seen Money Cook Games has done some stuff similar to that, where like as long as people are backing, like it keeps rolling, and then like once like there's enough time passes, then the campaign stops. But yeah, so here you can see. I mean, it's beautiful. Like the artwork is beautiful. Hey, look, does that say Baltimore?
Where?
Zoomed in too far. Right down here. Yeah, so it says Pittsburgh, but it's more than just Pittsburgh. Because it's like, here's Pittsburgh. There's Baltimore, Philadelphia, Indianapolis.
Okay, all right. So it's
the South. Hey, Philip, there we are.
This is the South.
Hey, Philip, we're underneath the word Baltimore on here.
Oh, very nice. Where? Hang on. Where is? Okay. So, there's Baltimore. All right, gotcha. I was looking too far to the left. Is that?
As I said, this little.
Cincinnati?
Yes, right here.
Under Indianapolis.
All right.
I
I kind of want this now. It got personal. I don't know even if I'll play it that much. How much? What was it, like 125? Ugh. I'll have to wait. I'll have to like late back it later. Yeah, but it's no Cyberpunk TCG. That is true.
Is this an extremely complicated Ticket to Ride?
Yes and no. It's more of imagine Ticket to Ride, except it's less about the routes and more about the stations.
Okay. All right.
If I remember, I could be butchering that, but like it's more about like you can like own the routes, but really you want the stations to be able to make the production to make the goods. So it's almost like imagine Catan and Ticket to Ride, and then you just like turn the rules crunch up to like
Gotcha.
10.
No generative AI was used anywhere in the making of this game.
Because that was where they I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was Brad. No, that was we were talking about Concordia. Never mind. But yeah, like a lot of the games have been talking about, or like the Concordia Deluxe Edition was talking about using placeholder AI working. They got crapped on.
That's right. Oh no, the 125 is the collector's edition.
Well, yeah, but who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? I'm not gonna get in. If I'm gonna buy this game, I'm not buying an Essentials edition.
Yeah. So, as says the guy who walked into our game store. Yeah, I got my pre-order. Wait, can I buy another one?
Look, it comes with iron coins. I will say the clays is like the coolest part of this. This is one of those games that this is where I first got to see the use of poker chips as money, and I was like, I kind of like this. Introducing iron coins game counters, though.
Wait,
those are
more.
Ooh. Look how fancy that looks.
The metal poker chips? Yeah.
The metal. No, they're coins.
Huh?
They're they're poker. They're metal. They're metal poker chips, but they're to look like coins. Are they $100 good? I don't think so. But like
that's a bucket chip.
Yeah. I mean, like that's like a booster box of Gundam cards there.
Right, man? Like and then you're probably guaranteed to make your money back on a couple of those cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, that's I don't. Is this just? Oh,
I like that cover. That's really cool.
Flipping through, it says there's a no glare TM game board. Scroll further down there.
Oh, you could choose one of 3 unique covers for your box. Here, let's click and compare.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think I kind of like the guy covered in oil.
Yeah,
because you got like the like woo choo choo train woo woo woo,
yeah, see,
and then you got like
the train,
industry.
The train is more of your like
classic
artwork you're gonna hang on the wall.
This would be like the middle one is like collector's edition artwork.
The whole warehouse scene, yeah, I'm digging that, man. The steel mill cover, yeah.
This is just like, oh my god, capitalism. Am I just like
sweet taste to being an
am I that much of a nihilist that I like this one the best? The one on the right is a bit happing it. That's true. The look on his face is a little like
I like the factory worker one, man. That's cool. Pouring all the molds and the giant crucible full of.
You heard Philip. He said porn.
Morton's, yeah.
All right, we talked about this way longer than I planned to, and I did not think that this was going to end up in me backing. Oh, here you go. Yeah, the no glare finish you were talking about. But yeah.
But like, is that just on the collector's edition, or is that on the entire every single edition?
Oh, that's a good point.
Resilient.
It is mentioned in the collector's thing, so I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Embossed metal tins.
Resilient cards.
What was that?
Like scroll down to the bottom of the of like that banner there, or the artwork.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Collector's edition uses Roxley PVC cardstock.
Ooh.
It can suffer bends and spills, springing back like new. Go sleeve free with synth.
That's cool. Okay, like now we're talking like, okay, this is clearly worth $125.
It's worth
like,
yeah.
Like
man.
now I'm starting to think 125 is kind of like a little.
Well, I mean, because it's 150 MSRP.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, what was it I was seeing? Collector's edition includes wooden money tokens. That's kind of cool.
Yep. And then you can upgrade to
and then you
others.
get metal oil barrels, VIP and income markers.
Stone and metal cubes. Are they actually stone and metal, or are they all just plastic?
You know what? That's a good point. Dual layer player boards.
Oh, that's why you get more, because the wooden ones are a little thicker and different shapes.
Yeah.
Okay. See that all? I'm picking up what they're putting down.
Yep. Oh, it's like okay. Here
13.8
now we get to the gameplay overview. We've gone through all the components, and now we get to the yeah. So this is where like you start out like building industry to get resources, and then use those resources to expand your empire, and then so that is one of the cool things is like you start out building like ships, and then you like flip the tokens to like okay, now we're going from ships to rails, or at least that was in one of the games. I feel like it was.
There's a game to play.
Huh?
There's a game to play? I thought this was just a box of cool stuff.
So are all the upgrades considered brass tacks? I love it. All right. We have to move on or I'm going to spend some money. All right. Why haven't women's clothing manufacturers started a competition called a brawl? A brawl?
Got him! Got him!
So also from Wargamer, Warhammer Rival one-page rules, which, Philip, do you want to know? What? Just, lucky guess. What does one-page rules make?
I'm gonna go on a limb and say they make to-go menus for hot dog carts.
Damn it. I thought I had you on that one. But no, so basically one-page rules is big on taking like, oh, you like Warhammer? Well, here's a version of that style of gameplay, but rules only in one page. But reveals massive 3D printing campaign with 18 creators and 500 plus minis. So One Page Rules has revealed Worlds Beyond Brawl, a massive crowdfunding campaign for over 500 minis from 18 different creators, adding 53 new war bands to One Page's Rules small-scale battle games, Grimdark Future Firefight, and Age of Fantasy Skirmish. Hey, Philip, you want to take a guess? What do you think Grimdark Future is a version of?
I'm gonna say it's a version of something far in the future with dudes in blue.
And Age of Fantasy, no idea what that could be.
Oh, that's gonna have to be in the past with dudes in green.
Yeah. So yeah, Grimdark Future Firefight is basically their version of Kill Team for 40K, and then Age of Fantasy Skirmish would be Age of Sigmar and War. What do they call it? Nobody plays it, and I forgot what it was called. It's their skirmish version of Sigmar.
Age of Sigmar Kill Team.
Yes, but they call it something. It was like Warcry. There we go. I knew it was War something. Warcry. Yeah, Rissa Beetle says that I have the campaign notified. I'm kind of excited. Yeah, I can never get, like, I know people talk about one-page rules, but it's just one of those things where it's like, nobody, like, not enough people play it. Like, the thing, like, yes, Warhammer can be complicated and whatnot, but you can go to any number of places and play it. Whereas, some of these more boutique games, I started off playing the boutique kind of games, or like not the Warhammer, but some of these other smaller games. And I got tired of always having to try and people to play with, or like the person you're used to playing with moves away. And now you're stuck with a bunch of minis that no one wants to play a game for. But, not only is OPR teaming up with indie sculptors, it's collaborating with companies that have their own games. You'll soon be able to field forces from War Machine, Arc World, and Warzone Eternal against one another using bespoke OPR rules as a common language. Okay, that's dumb. That sentence makes zero sense, because the thing about one-page rules is it's minis agnostic. That's kind of the point, is you can use whatever minis you have. Here's some rules to do it. So you already could use those minis against one another using bespoke OPR rules. So, like, I think what they're trying to say is you're going to have more specific rules for like tailored rules specifically to those forces instead of saying like, oh, this guy I'm using this guy as this class and I'm using this guy to represent this unit. It's like, no, these units are these units, and here's the card for this War Machine model instead of, well, technically you can use that War Machine model as this model or maybe even this model, but I think it's just weird. That phrasing is weird. I just don't like that. They announced on its Patreon on Tuesday, and a My Mini Factory Frontiers crowdfunding campaign will launch on May 12th. The price of backing hasn't been announced, but OPR states that proceeds of this campaign will be split evenly between the participating creators, regardless of their size and reach. I mean, this thing's got to be fucking expensive. Sorry, just gotta block some spam.
So what are we getting?
You're getting models.
Are we getting models or are we getting STLs?
Ooh, that's a good question. Allows miniature makers to create OPR army lists for their models and then hosts on the game's Army Forge list building app, and puts me in mind of the D&D OGL. I mean, they do talk about models. Yeah, so it is STLs and rule sets. So that
could lower the price.
Yes, that's true. And I mean, I'm sure there'll be, like I said, I don't know if it's enough to get me to play one-page rules stuff, but it is like, I would probably check out their minis for either A, proxying them in 40K, or B, just whatever other game I feel like, especially like D&D for some of the fantasy stuff. Mm-hmm. Just having cool looking stuff. And it makes it easier to play steam-powered warjacks against Eldari, against Papsicles, aliens. Yeah. But that's what I was saying, like, you technically could already do that. This just sounds like it's just they're making very tailored data sheets, basically, for these models. Almost as if the rules are going to go beyond one page.
No, you just make the font smaller.
That's true. All right. Philip, I put this next one in here just for you. If candy canes start feeling a little bit emo, would you say that their taste is lamenty? D&D's new Lament Barbarian might be its most emo character yet, so we're still getting more and more Unearthed Arcana villainous characters for D&D. And the latest one now is the Path of the Lament for Barbarian. So, as the name suggests, it's quite the somber subclass whose unlike other barbarians whose rage stems from primal gods or nature, Lament barbarians are fueled by grief and regret. If you've ever wondered how it feels to get mournfully mauled, try standing in the path of a Lament barbarian. So this is what I was talking about. Banshee's Wail. They unleash a cry so filled with pain that enemies feel it in their bones, dealing psychic damage. Horrifying Strike lets them frighten a foe after hitting them with a strength-based attack. The barbarians' weapons as heavy as their hearts. As their grief consumes them further, they become more revenant than mortal. Their wails becoming so strong they can defeat lesser foes instantly. The supernatural aspect means they can also speak with the dead, gain resistance to cold and necrotic while raging, and can't be possessed. Their final feature, Sorrow Form, makes their lament never-ending. They cannot be charmed, frightened, or exhausted. And Horrifying Strike becomes vampiric, doing necrotic damage on foes while rejuvenating the barbarian. And, of course, they become undead.
They become undead?
Yeah. The first thing that came to mind in this article, they note the unkillable revenant of grief with supernatural strength is the Crow.
Yeah.
Do they get a capstone power called Tantrum of the Karen? No, I think that's just your proper barbarian.
Oh, that is.
One of the potential. One of the potential origins goes: enemies slew your animal companion. And if that doesn't just scream melee John Wick, I don't know what does. I love it. It's the problem with when people get real creative with D&D is you're just like, I want to run a game of that. But then you're like, if I ran a game with everything that I thought was cool, I would be running games nonstop.
Uh-huh.
And while that might be kind of cool, the bills do got to get paid.
Oh, that's right.
All
This
right.
stuff is free, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, because I clicked on the thing in the article. And it was like, oh, you can now read more of the Path of Lament here. I clicked on that, and like, oh yeah, there's just a PDF tab open.
Yeah, it's just a PDF. This is there. They want people to go try it, and then if it gets popular enough, they'll put it in a book somewhere.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna download that.
Because like, I don't think it's actually.
First one too.
I don't think it's actually in D&D Beyond, or it might be. You might just have to click. Oh, here, look, we say GW is going to reveal everything in the Warhammer Armageddon box this Friday. We were talking about, I think we talked about that before the show, but yeah. Okay. So, fun fact, we'll probably talk about that next time. All right, last article. CMON needs to NFTs, or to stop NFTsing us with these kinds of stories. Like, how am I supposed to not talk about CMON on a podcast when they go and do goofy shit like this?
Yeah.
CMON, the company that's like failing to do its, or hasn't been putting up its Kickstarters, has been like struggling rapidly, had like $56 million loss last year, whatever. Apparently they got $2.1 million to invest in an NFT video game maker. Says Digital Shift needed to expand revenue and remain relevant.
To a bunch of finance and tech bros?
Hi, 2022 called. They wanted to know, they would like their fads back, please. Financially troubled board game publisher CMON. Oh, this is from Board Game Wire, by the way. Board game publisher CMON is pining its future on a push into video game development and blockchain-based projects, beginning with the $2.1 million investment in NFT game maker Blissful Link. Hold on one sec.
What the hell is an NFT game?
Well, it's just a game that has NFTs in it. CMON's board said it planned to transition, as the title says, Massive Darkness and Super Fantasy Brawl into high-quality digital Oh, God. It's going to integrate. They're going to bring NFTs to board games. I know other people have like tried this, but this would be like the first bigger company. The video, the audio, you can't see that I like heavily raised my eyebrows to bigger. Adding it believed integrating its board games with digital and Web3 technologies would enhance the long-term commercial value of the group's portfolio. And if that doesn't say everything that's wrong with CMON, I don't know what does.
I read one. This. Can I just talk about Board Game Wire's style of putting? There's 50 paragraphs on this thing, man.
Well, that's one reason like I use it, because they
2 sentences.
Yeah.
2.2% stake in Blissful Link equates to $2.1 million.
Yeah. Yeah, the company Blissful Link, which operates Capverse, a play-to-earn video game built on blockchain technology in which the players buy NFT summer characters. I'm assuming that's supposed to be like Sumer as like summoner, maybe like a shortened version of that.
Oh,
like
no,
a
I
nickname.
was going like the Sumeria.
Oh, or maybe like I don't know, short for consumer.
That could be. Well, so I clicked on Cap.
Well, there you go. They value their investment values them at more than $95 million. Look, oh my God, they had a loss. The last reported figures or finances is a loss of $197,000 in 2024.
On revenues of $408,000.
And they
net
had liabilities of $889,000, according to unaudited figures provided by CMON. They didn't include finances for 2025. What the fuck? I've done more curses this episode than what the hell? Like,
This just goes to prove that money is fake.
yeah.
'Cause
Also,
I don't understand those numbers at all. I don't know
it
how that works.
also like this is just like I just want to go back to what was it literally last episode we were talking about why would anybody back a project from CMON because they were eyeing getting back into the crowdfunding spot. And it's like how what?
I
Like
wouldn't back anything if they told me they were gonna send me those 500 minis and all I had to do was give them $1, I still wouldn't do it.
yeah. Yeah, like they could tell me they were coming over and, cleaning my apartment and I wouldn't give them money.
Like, no. Yeah.
You could like we're going to deliver you a truck full of bacon. And I would be like, "Nah."
Whiskey and bacon?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
I
it
mean, I do
doesn't
some shady shit for whiskey and bacon. I don't know.
Next week, CMON announces they're an AI company. Fool me once, shame on them. Fool me for what was that? 4,346,773 times. I would just like to point out that the one company in our news is raising $9 million on GameFound by putting out quality product. The other company is doing. Well, I gotta do that. This. But I guess Rusted Beetle does have somewhat of a point. Is I think they're just trying to they're panicking because they have no money to spend, and they're like, what's hip right now? What's hip right now? NFTs, AI, whatever. Shove it into board games. I don't care. Or it's people that already have tons of that stuff that they're like. Actually, you know what? I just said it myself. It's the people that are probably invested in CMON. They're like, well, how can I make my other things rich?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. English. All right. Because I clicked on the Catverse thing.
Yeah.
And it immediately went to it defaulted to Chinese.
Hong Kong,
I'm
maybe?
assuming.
Chinese.
Yeah, but then up at the top it does have a thing to switch to English. Catverse 2.0. All right. Ooh, what is this? I'm gonna learn to play and then I'll come back.
The company believes that in order to continue to be relevant in the games industry and expand the group's revenue stream, the group would need to conduct digital transitioning and venture into video game development and Web3 projects. This shows you also how much little they know about the actual industry, because if they're a debt magnet, yeah, exactly. If you listen to if you talk to anyone that's been studying board gaming and the rise of tabletop gaming, people will talk about how in our increasingly more digital world that's why these analog games have gotten so popular, because people need a break. And in fact, they even say it was what I was saying. The group would continue to supplement this digital transformation as physical games would still offer a screen break for individuals. Okay, I think you lost the plot. Yeah, 2021 called. They want their NFTs back. They already had burst a year later. There you go. Most of the digital assets involved losing more than 90% of their peak value. Also, I would, yeah, this is so crazy. Also, other board games have done this and not done well. That's the other thing is they're not the first. Because Soulforge Fusions, which allowed players to mint decks as digital assets, 2 years ago, CCG project Wonders of the First had to pull a $1.4 million campaign from Kickstarter after falling foul of the crowdfunding platform's ban on NFTs. The game went on to raise about 1.2 million after relaunching without NFT content. Huh? Ya don't say.
They lost 200,000 on. Okay. When does the C in CMON stand for crypto?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is people are talking about like, you don't have money to publish my game that I've already given you money for, but you got 2 million to throw at NFTs. This is where I talk about like as I get older, there's some things I just have less and less patience for, and it's like,
You got enough money to buy a fake mustache? You ain't got enough money to pay me back?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is.
Till 5 o'clock, man.
You got till 5 o'clock. That is literally what we've got going on here. All right, and them's the news. Oh man. All right. So I'm gonna slide over here because I need to bring up we don't have a guest obviously today. But what I do have to talk about is I've got a list full of review copies of stuff. And I was going to do, they've got I got 2 Tales of Valiant books I need to do, Monster Vault 2 and Book of Blades, but I kind of want to get Philip to at least flip through Book of Blades before we talk about it, because that one's character options. And I think that'll be a lot more fun. But what today I'm going to talk about is the Monster Vault 2, which is basically your Monster Manual 2. So this is from Kobold Press for the Tales of the Valiant, which is basically, kind of think of it as D&D's 5e, or like D&D 3.5 to Pathfinder. Tales of the Valiant is for D&D 5. But here you can see I've got their website pulled up. You can get it PDF for $39.99, or you can get it for $59.99. Shut up, Rusted Beetle. I play Tales of the Valiant. I run Tales of the Valiant. Although I run it, it's funny. I run Tales of the Valiant in my D&D games. Like, they all make D&D characters, but the background is like all the monsters and stuff and the encounters they're fighting are all Tales of the Valiant. But let's see. So I'm not going to show off everything, but kind of I wanted to talk about like some of the things in here. So just like, yes, the later, like 2/3 of the book is all about, adding more monsters, and that's always good. Like, just having more things to choose from and that sort of thing. However, I do like it when the books will add stuff that isn't just here. We just made a book full of monsters, like when they add other content in here. Like for instance, the first chapter. So Tales of the Valiant, the game, the core books, the Game Master's Guide, there is an optional mechanic that I have never used, but I kind of want to now, called Doom. And so Doom is kind of the GM's version of luck points.
Okay.
In fact, it's actually, Philip, it's closer to what you would experience as like the force points, when like the GM would flip force points, because a lot of this will start making sense. So like, the way it works in Tales of the Valiant is, depending on what type of combat, like how strong a combat is, the GM will get X amount of doom per combat. It resets every encounter. You can use those to auto succeed on a save for a monster, auto succeed on its attack. You can move up to half a monster can move up to half its speed without provoking opportunity. You can gain advantage, which I thought that was weird, because if you can spend it to auto succeed, why would you expend it to gain advantage? You can make a PC have disadvantage, or you can refresh a limited usability. That's what's all ships in the core books. So this kind of, I guess, it wasn't being used enough, or people were talking about it. So they have a whole stuff in here talking about how optional it is and how it can be used. So it presents a couple of new uses, and some of them on here are kind of nasty in great ways. I love it. So like, there's stuff on here like gaining advantage on all your attacks until next turn, ignoring resistance from a PC, gaining a whole extra action entirely. And then these two are my favorites right here. you could spend Doom so that a boss monster can sacrifice its ally to gain its remaining health as temporary HP.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Or you could spend Doom to transfer half of damage or half or all of the damage it's received in a single source to one of its allies instead. So like you go up and you do your like Kamehameha, like your big powerful fireball, and you're just like, I'm gonna spend a Doom. That's
shield.
getting redirected to that like tiny little kobold over there who just like disintegrates from reality.
Oh God, could you? I'm just looking at like your epic, powerful nat 20
Yeah.
attack, and it's like, nope. Take out that 3 hit point little.
And see, they even specify that like it's not supposed to be used to punish players. Like the whole point is to just ratchet up tension. So it's more of like, you know, the villains have, or the villain did its big monologue, and the heroes just come in and just like stop, like they just start pounding the guy to death, and like right when he's about to die, he just like, you haven't even seen my final form, and just like takes like his enemies and eats, or takes his allies and eats them, and gets like super powerful. DM, stop looking at this. But they also do talk about how if you're going to use Doom, it needs to be publicly visible. So like the players see that like, okay, he's got a pool of like,
it needs to be the force points. Like
it needs to be. That's where I was saying it reminds me of the force points, where it's like you're not just cheating to cheat, that you're literally, they're seeing you spend a resource, you know.
I have 5 opportunities to cheat.
Yeah. Doom sounds like a broken option. Definitely shouldn't use. You guys are not all biased at all, but like, yeah, I like that alone was just like, especially some of those things to use was really, really cool. So there's other things in here like running memorable villains. They've got like a table in here of like names. As how many times have we talked about how bad I am at naming things? So having a table of villainous names, always a great. And then also, this is the other big thing in this first chapter, monster bundles. As someone that's like always trying to come up with things, these are great. So this is like a way of like, I have a story, but trying to like math out the right types of encounters that are going to be right for level 1 versus level 2 versus level 3. You can do these monster bundles instead, which is here. Let me see if I can, let me zoom in some so you can actually read it. But like, you can pick what type of game you're doing. Like says Forge Lord on here, you know, high fantasy, science fantasy. It gives you kind of like what the themes are. And then you scroll down to that section and it talks about, okay, at level 1, they're going to be fighting this, this, and this. And it gives you like it gives you the framework basically. So it's like, this is a campaign right here. This is the mechanical framework of a campaign here. You just then need to take it and put the narrative flavor on top and the meaningful kind of choices into it. And you know, like that's like there are some people, this is the hardest part of being a GM, is kind of doing this mechanical piece in a way that makes it like that, you know, your players are actually going to be able to fight it.
Yeah.
So I really like this. And then the last piece I will talk about on here, because like I said, most of the book is just more guys, and I've done plenty of reviews where I just like the top 5 monsters I like in this thing. This one had enough good stuff in the front matter that I didn't see the need to then go through. But the last thing I wanted to talk about on here is the monster templates, which is how do we take existing things and make them even more useful. So monster templates is basically, so say you've got a book, you've got the rest of the book has all these different monsters. You've got the Monster Vault 1 that's got a whole bunch of monsters. How can we reuse those in different ways? And now they've got monster templates, which is, okay, well, we have a dragon, and then this is basically an adjective on that monster to give it extra things and reflavor it. So like Fey Champion is just like a really powerful Fey, but like blah. That one's not so. That one's like kind of whatever. But then they get down to one of them in here was really cool. Gloomrot Hulk, which is just a giant that's been corrupted by magic. But then, like, if you look at some of the examples here, so this is just an ogre that they've then now taken this Gloomrot Hulk template. Look how awesome that looks. Like, that's just an ogre that they then put this like template on top of to give it new abilities.
Oh yeah.
So, and like, if you thought dragons were bad, great worms are the eldest and most powerful of all dragons. So, like a dragon, you're probably looking at like CR20 or so.
Uh-huh.
This is a great worm, green dragon, CR24.
Oh.
Yeah. Like hit points, 501. Perception, 27. That's its passive perception. Like, how terrifying is that? I could be a Fey champion butcher. Also, and this doesn't even have to be for giant high levels. Like here, there's this Grim where it's like, let's see, certain ceremony that can raise a guardian perfectly fit for just a calling. These are known as Grims. But like, this is a what was this for? A giant owl Grim. This is only a CR 1/4, so this is like a minion.
Yeah.
But like, how much cooler is that than just like, oh, I threw some giant owls, but this is a giant Grim owl.
What's the description on a Grim again? It's just
let's see, let me go back up. When a resting place of the dead, be it a rural graveyard or sprawling necropolis, is in need of safeguards against losing their interred, whether it be due to grave robbing or their bodies rising as undead, there's a certain ceremony that can raise a guardian perfectly fit for such a calling.
okay, gotcha. So that like the
They defend the grounds from any disturbances of the dead.
Okay, cool.
I mean, the description kind of gives me like Swamp Thing vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, Grim, I went straight to Ruby.
Yeah, or I mean I went to Grim Reaper, but
Oh, that too.
or again, so I'm gonna scroll past a couple of here. I'm not gonna show off everything, but there's the many-handed, yeah, pretty much many-handed familiar. So like, what's better than a familiar? A familiar with many hands, so it has like spectral hands.
Is that a Doc Ock crow?
Yeah. And they talk about in here how these things like thieves guilds will use these will have familiars, even though like typically that, it's for magic users, but a lot of times rogues will have many-handed familiars because why not?
Oh, that's great.
And then they have the prescients, which are basically like the creatures from Minority Report.
Oh, yeah.
And then the last one, the precogs. Yeah. The last one, this is another way, to add more detail to a low-level boring monster. You got the tar skeletons. So like you could have like, yeah, okay, this is like a triceratops skeleton dripping in tar. And again, this is only like CR5. So again, we're talking low level ish. But yeah,
that's got some bite behind it. Yeah.
The Triceratops, like this one, it gets like this noxious fumes. Triceratops bones are infused with tar. When it takes fire damage, the tar on its body smolders, releasing a tarry smoke for 1 minute. A creature. So yeah, you deal fire damage to it, and it creates smog that you then have to roll to not be poisoned. So when the sorcerer or wizard throws their fireball, if the fireball doesn't kill him, the smoke might. You could make a groper grouper with many hands. So the only critique I will have with these monster templates is it does not do a very good job of talking about, or at least when I was reading through it, when you apply these templates on other creatures, how that changes their challenge rating, their CR, which is what you CR is kind of the indicator of how difficult this fight's going to be by itself. Mm-hmm. Like I think ideally it's supposed to be like a CR5 monster it should be like an easy target for 4 level 5 creatures or 4 level 5 heroes, or like
Okay.
they're supposed to be on par kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Is like it's not exactly fair that way, because like there's the whole like if you've got 4 people, that's 4 times the actions as opposed to the thing. So it's not an exact, but it's just supposed to be an idea that like when you see CR24, it's like we're gonna need like max level heroes probably to take care of this.
Yes.
But so what I'm saying is like the pre-built stuff in here is great, but what they don't say is like if I take this tar skeleton and apply it to just a regular goblin, how does that change its CR value? Like, does it change at all? Are these all like just flavor pieces, and it just gives it like an additional a couple of extra abilities? But like usually might adjust the CR at least maybe 1 or 2.
Right.
So that part I didn't see anything. That would be my only kind of critique. But overall, I mean, especially for if you're getting just the PDF where it's only $40, I think this is definitely I mean, I think you're getting like $20 of content just in the parts that we haven't even gotten to the rest of the book where it's talking about the monsters A to Z. That's just in the first.
That?
What? Just scroll. Oh, the Acre Fiend. Multi-headed ogre.
It's got 7, 8.
2, 4, 6, 7, I think.
Is that
7
one
heads?
behind it? The 3 in the back?
1, 2. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, it just looked like in the gap between the 3 and the back. There. It looked
Oh,
like an ink
yeah.
mark back there.
That's just ears you're seeing.
Oh, okay, 7. It's a
Hey,
predator
look,
because
they
none of
crave-
those eyes
they-
are looking behind it.
They crave combat.
Yeah, it's a
Go
predator.
figure. The CR level 10.
Oh, yeah, that'll put a hurt
Hey,
on
look, one of its abilities, Bone Cage. Bone Cage is ready. This is what you get if you feed Gizmo wet food after midnight. Bonus actions. As a bonus action, they get make them suffer.
That's great.
So yeah, this is great. I love this. This is awesome. If you're playing if you're playing Tales, actually, you know what? You don't even, if you're not playing Tales of the Valiant, like you could still do this for D&D. Like all these monsters would work. Like these are all D&D stats. Caution, they're going to be heavy because we talked about when we talked to Wolfgang here on the show, that like what they consider CR10, D&D 5 would consider like CR11. So you have to be a little bit like, it's going to be a stronger fight than in your D, but you can just straight up drop these creatures into your D&D game. Even and like all the other stuff. So the monster templates, the bundles, all that stuff is still useful in your D&D 5 and 5.5 games. And technically you could even use Doom if you wanted to in your games. So there you go. The show notes will have the link to it if you want to check it out. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the Monster Vault 2 from Kobold Press for Tales of the Valiant /5e. I can scroll quickly through. You can see what kind of monsters are included in here. Also, I found that Kobold Press is a great encounter builder on their website that you can click when it brings up a monster. You can click. There's like a little book in the corner, and it'll tell you what book the monster's in. If it's in Monster Vault 1 or Monster Vault 2.
Okay.
But like here, you can see they've got in the beginning all the different creatures. So there's a couple of dragons, dragonettes. Let's see, corpse like gardener. There you go. Crystalline servitors, all sorts of stuff. Shatterstar, world tree sapling, wind leech, all sorts of things. But Philip, I think it's time to talk some dirtbagginess.
Oh, that sounds like such a good time.
I'm gonna start. We're gonna start off with. Do you have them pulled up?
I have the first one. I forgot to
The
build all
which
those.
is that the TPK one?
It's the very first one in line.
Or are you talking about the Chat GPT one?
Quitting ChatGPT. Yeah, it looks like that one.
Okay. All right. You wanna give people are probably tired of my voice. Why don't you read this one?
And 5. Okay, let me come back. So many tabs. All right, there it is. And then minimize that. Okay. Quitting Chat GPT. Hey there, Reddit. Trying to get back into writing D&D campaigns. Never written a fully fledged campaign, although we tried several times. Last campaign that they wrote was back when it wasn't aware of the harmful effects of AI and used it anytime I got stuck or needed help organizing. Now, as I said, I'm trying to write a D&D campaign. I have a lot of great ideas, and I really struggle putting them together or fleshing out cities and things. My impulse is to go to ChatGPT when I get stuck, but being much more aware of the effects of AI, decided not to use it, but then I'm stuck. Just wanted to ask if anyone has any advice to what to do when you're stuck. Don't want to ask Reddit every little question, but sometimes you just need ideas, different perspectives. First off, that's what Reddit's for, man. Just ask Reddit every little question. Do it.
When you write, you're right.
There are so many people. You're not going to piss anybody off. by asking
Also,
every little question.
I love the new problems that AI gives us. Never before have we ever had the problem where someone has been stuck writing and they've not known what resources to turn to. It wasn't until we realized how bad AI was that we finally had to stop using this crutch and remember how do we have it's almost like a block, when you're writing. They should come up with a term for that.
They should. You know what CMON should do if they want to break into like the digital and AI crap? Invest in thorium reactors so we can power the damn things.
Yeah.
And not make sick, because those aren't thorium reactors supposed to be? It's a real thing.
Is it?
I've heard it. It's like I hear about it in video games a whole bunch, but like thorium reactors are actually a real thing.
Cool.
That use
something for me to look up later.
Less radioactive materials and they work better.
Cool.
It's just nobody wants to pay for it because it actually works.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, reading through, there's well, because I've talked about this when I was going to run the Star Trek adventure stuff, and I sat down with our friends Chris and Mike, and they helped me out a little bit, and it was like I was over preparing a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like everybody does. The first time you GM, you're like, oh my God, I have to prep everything. Like, what if they go to this store and I need a name for that guy? And and
a lot of the stuff pops into just have a handful of random encounter tables ready to rock. And then just be able to go with see, I'm giving the proper answer, not the dirtbag answer.
No, we already gave the dirtbag answer.
We did, yeah.
Which is use Reddit.
Use Reddit all the time. But like it's make the railroads less obvious. Be like, oh, I need a name for these 12 guys if they go here. No, you don't. It's all the same guy.
Yeah, it's the same guy. It's just maybe he's wearing a top hat and a cane instead of,
exactly. Oh, this
an
encounter
axe.
is supposed to take place at this specific tavern, but the guys are going to the market. Okay, boom. The encounter now takes place in the market.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the great part when you just realize that like you can just make it up. I will say again, going back to the fact that I suck at naming things, having charts or having like tables to roll or that you can quickly come up with names. I have used like random table generators for like, here, just give me like 20 names, and then just like printed them off and just had them on my DM screen that I could just be like, what's that person's name? Baron. Shut up.
Or we had in our first big 5e campaign, it was like both of you were going to be Varys. I was like, well,
Yeah.
shit, Sarav.
Yeah, I just spelled it backwards.
And that's the great point of. Do I have a? I don't really. That's the great. I'm going to use this napkin. That's the great point of having your DM screen is that like, hey, what's going on behind the screen? Doesn't matter. It's none of your business.
Yeah, there are plenty of NPC books available on Drive-Thru RPG. Yeah, I just got one the other day or yesterday because I was kind of stuck. Like it happens to the best of us. I was kind of stuck on stuff, wanted some new ideas, and one of the guys referred me. It's like into the Into the Cess and Citadel or something like that. But they were talking about how it's got a bunch of like it's basically like a city that wants to eat your players basically, and you know you don't have to like you can design it's written as if you could just drop your players into it and run a game in this city, but it's also written so that you could pull stuff out to like run in your own games if you just want to run like a city and have a cool monster pulled in. Where like I think John was telling us about it at dinner. One of the monsters is a brick tick, where it lives as a brick, and then when like a player gets close to it, it pops out and like crawls, and gets little legs, and then just like kills the player, and then like absorbs the blood into its porous body. I played a game. Rusty Bill says I played a game where every NPC shopkeeper was a member of the same family. They all spoke the same, had the same prices, and same personalities. They were all called Shopkeep. I love it. Yeah, like you said, it's a Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny. Yep.
It's 100. Pokemon did it.
Yeah.
And we all accepted it.
There's also some great tips in the thing here. The point of doing prep is to make it fun. Why do you need multiple cities fleshed out? This is also great where it's just like if you're stuck writing, just read more, like consume more non-RPG book stuff where it's like go watch some anime, go read some comic books. Like seriously, like you can make anything out of anything. Like
the lyric in the song is the Lord of the Rings, the Dark Crystal, and things. We use these as a reference tool.
Yeah. But not even that. Like you can have like Batman
like,
in your
go read a Spider-Man comic. Boom.
Yeah.
You've got some information popping around in your head.
That, but also like, okay, what if you had like a Peter Parker kind of great power comes great responsibility arc in your 5e game? You could do it. Like,
and then you decide to
you could
your responsibility.
Actually, here I am. Here I am. What? Oh man. Hold on. We gotta go. What if the players are hired by one of the local journalists to hunt down this menace that's threatening our city, and it turns out it's like some kid that got bitten by a spider and like got cursed and is a were spider now. And like
he's about to kill us.
No, but I'm
giving him ideas now. We're gonna die.
No, but then like you can even have it be that like the spider isn't actually the bad guy. That the spider's just, you know, like it turns out that that's what the real bad guy is just using as a crutch, because the were spider is actually the only thing that is threatening its evil plot. And it turns out maybe it was the publisher in the first place. Get me pictures of were Spider-Man.
Man, Bear Pig.
Fine, I make evidence of minor malfeasance out of 2 cocoa halves, a bit of string, and the security blanket from a local toddler. Love it. All right, we'll do one more. I'll read this.
This dude wrote a book.
Yeah, we're not gonna read everything on this one because I feel like it's one of those.
Well, we'll read the TLDR.
Yeah. Oh, is there a TLDR?
There is.
Well, first of all, the thing is
a TPK on themselves, but the session ended right before they all died. That's where you send them home and tell them to think up how they die.
Well, no. There's a much better and more groan-inducing way of doing this, Philip. Do you remember how Twilight ended?
That yes, it was bullshit, and it was awesome. God, no, yes, That's great. I love it. That's how you do it. Oh God.
For those that have not been good enough to see, that have the mental fortitude to not have watched was it Breaking Dawn? Is that the last one?
I don't know.
But
I saw the scene on TV, and I was like, oh, now I want to watch the whole movies because this is how it ends, and that's not how it ends.
Yeah. No, the way that it's like they do this final battle and like all this stuff happens and like the bosses die and then it snaps back to the beginning of the fight and the person that could see the future was like showing this as a vision to the big bads going, that's how this is going to end. You can walk away now or, that's what's going to play out. So yeah, you could totally have it just be like they wake up in their room and everything happens exactly how it happened in the first session, but now they have like maybe, and then you can also throw it maybe why did that happen, and maybe that's what spawns the next session is we just got our ass saved through that little dream sequence there. What the hell happened? I want to see if anybody actually did this. Of course, also they're talking about in later on. It turns out that the bad guy was using some of this, or they were using their spells a little off. So something that they may have just doing retcon, but I'm not even saying that. I just want to see if anybody said anything like this. Of course, other people are like TPKs happen, blah blah blah. So this is when I first read this. This was kind of my thought here too, where okay, the players all die, but that doesn't have to be the end of the game because you're talking
how many
about
modules start with like players in the afterlife.
Yeah, like you're talking about multiplanar worlds to where it's like, okay, now you're in hell. Let's go. This person's talking about where I love this, where it's like make up a devil NPC that approaches the Rangers he's trying to escape, offering a deal to save the party. The deal is for, quote, 10 minutes of your life. The fun part is you never specified which 10 minutes. So maybe the devil controls him for a round of combat or two in a future fight or during a crucial moment. Yeah, there's a lot of different things in that. I like my version better, where it's just you have them wake up and repeat the day.
Yeah, and give
add a few like add an NPC that wasn't in there the first time, or like an artifact that's glimmering specially or something, or maybe like a letter addressed to them, or just something as a breadcrumb that they could then pull on in the future to figure out like why did this,
or I was thinking like a sprite.
Ooh, yeah.
That hopefully somebody has a high enough passive perception to like you wake up, you look around, you see the sprite as it blinks out of existence, and like you don't remember it being in your room the first time around.
Yeah, or maybe like as you're dying, you see like a vision of an NPC like fading and whispering some words to you, and you wake up and it's the previous morning. So also, this just reminds me there was a I mean, I get suckered into I watch a lot of isekai anime, and there's one where it's like Welcome to Japan, Mrs. Elf, where the premise is that every time he goes to sleep in like the real world, he emerges in this fantasy world. And then when he dies in the fantasy world, he wakes back up in the real world. But like one time when him and his elf companion overextended themselves, and he like grabbed onto her to like hug her goodbye as they died, and she got pulled into the real world with him.
Oh.
So just other suddenly your players wake up in the middle of Manhattan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guess what, guys? We're playing Shadowrun now.
Well, hell, that's what the marine biologist did in Star Trek 4.
Yeah.
Right as they're beaming off, she's like, "Oh, gotcha. Coming with you."
Oh yeah. The mom from Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven. Yep. Going through. All right, we're done with that. Going through. Seeing clips of. Do you remember It's a baseball movie. The kid had surgery on his arm, and he had to hold his arm like this.
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year. Okay, gotcha. The mom. Okay, so have you ever seen any of Chicago PD?
Uh-huh.
She's the desk sergeant. She's the gray-haired, give no gruff desk sergeant.
That movie was in
1993. Of like the main precinct that they.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah, just like flipping through random stuff. We're like, "Oh, that's you."
I had that moment in American Pie because I was like, why do I know this guy? And then I was like, oh, that's Rookie of the Year guy. Because he's one of the guys in American.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the one who gets the book.
Yeah. The one that's in love with Tara Reid.
That's right.
Yeah, Gary Busey was in that movie.
American Pie or Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the Year. All right, I think I think that's our exit cue.
Wait, the Groundhog Day, the RPG. Love it.
Wrong button.
And that's been our show, everyone. We want to thank you all for hanging out in the chat with us and putting up with our shenanigans. If you like what you see, you got to check us out, boardsandSwords.com/live. It's got the link to the streaming channels and the schedule for when we're going to be up there. And also check out boardsandSwords.com/Patreon. That's where you can find our Patreon page. You can help support the show and get some awesome, unique rewards in the process.
Yes. Email us feedback at boardsandswords.com. You can also find us on Instagram, boards and or swords. Boardsandswords.com for links to everything like our Patreon, like Philip mentioned. Check us out. Help support show. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. Guys, I'm so excited. People, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Guess who we're having on the show next time? Isaac Vega, who now is from Rose Gauntlet Entertainment, and he's going to be talking about how to raise your kaiju. But Philip, you might know him from a little game called Ashes.
Ooh.
Yes, the creator of the game, like other things such as, right now, I know he's done plenty of other things, but just right now off the top of my head, Ashes and its subsequent editions. But yeah, he's going to be here on the show to talk to us about Rose Gauntlet Entertainment and how to raise your kaiju. So you're not going to want to miss that. That's going to be awesome. So in the meantime, be back in 2 weeks for that interview. And remember that every gamer has a story, and as long as you're not spending $2.1 million on NFTs, you're doing something right.